So, for today's devotional, I want to read out of Ephesians 6, verse 14, which says, having your loins girt about with truth. It's in a list of the armor of God, and as we go through our day-to-day life, that armor is never more important than when we have an opportunity to get sideways. If you think about armor, it protects you, but you have to put it on. You have to consciously get dressed. And if you have a shield and a sword, and you have your calves covered with sheaths, and your belt, but you don't have a breastplate, then you've really done nothing. And the same goes for all the other parts. You can be the best defensively armored person on the battlefield, but without a sword or a spear, you have a real short experience. On the other side, when you've put it on, you know you've put it on. No one I know has ever gotten dressed, whether in work gear or military personnel or tactical personnel in police departments. No one ever puts on their gear and thinks to themselves, wow, I wish I had something to protect me. They think, all right, I'm prepared for what's coming. We had an opportunity, actually we still have an opportunity, to engage in something that will not necessarily illegal, may not be the most up and up actions we've taken in a year or two. As we talked about it, there's a lot of frustration leading up to this point. We feel like we've been persecuted and wronged, and there's an element of desperation. Although we'll talk about desperation later. And in this, while engaging in a, again, not illegal, but not necessarily right action, we remembered that we're not called to be truthful sometimes. We're not called to be honest occasionally. We're called to be truthful all the time. We're called to be honest all the time. And we've operated our business and we've lived our lives as much as we can to be honest all the time, even when it hurts and even when it comes at a price. That's not because we're awesome people. It's because we have an eternal hope, much more than this world, and we have the grace and strength of Jesus standing with us and holding us up in a lot of cases, so that we can take the consequences of being truthful, even when it hurts. So reading 6:14 in Ephesians, it struck me that having your loins girt with truth was the very first in that particular listing of the armor of God. And of course, if you don't know, your loins are the muscles under your ribs, around your back, and I suppose it would extend across your belly too, so kind of north of your groin and south of your ribs, and that's a real tender spot. It's easy to get hurt there. It's easy to get cut there. If you think about it in a sword fighting or spear fighting kind of element, that would have to be the easiest target. I've never swung a sword at anyone or thrown a spear, but still, if you hit someone in the one spot, there's no bones to deflect a blade, and it's going to have some consequences fast, and everything underneath there is packed with blood, easy to get infected. It'd be a great hit. And the defense of that is a belt. That's what a girding is. It's like a wrapping. Is a belt of truth. And there's a lot we can read into the armor of God, no matter which one it is. And you can look at this girding of truth. It means something different to everyone, I imagine. And day after tomorrow, it might mean something different to me, because the Bible's like that. It's a living document, and it's easy to draw new things from it every time you open it. But if the easiest hit on a weak body is protected with truth, in the spiritual sense, why wouldn't we cling to that and never back away from that? As we've thought about the opportunity for something shady, we have consciously stepped back and said, no, this is gonna proceed the way it proceeds, and we're gonna hold our heads up, and we're gonna be honest, and we're gonna stick to our biblical principles, because we're children of God. We're saved by Jesus, and what happens here is temporary. It's hard sometimes. It is genuinely hard, but it is temporary. And just like God knows that we need food and water and air and clothes, maybe not exactly always what we pick in those departments, but He knows we need them. God knows what I need right now, and God knows what you need right now, and you don't have to lie about that. You don't have to lie about that to yourself. You don't have to lie about it to God, because that soft underbelly, if you protect that with the truth, then you don't have to worry about being gutted by a lie. So, Ephesians 6:14, that's today's devotional with Dennis. I hope it's a blessing. Take care.